What do you think about using AI to evaluate deals?
AI.
What do you think?
That would be Ben's Intelligence. And you go to benmallah.com and get me on the phone, and you can get some of Ben's AI.
That would actually be interesting.
Ben's Intelligence.
I like that.
That's a good idea. So people are making, you have ChatGPT, they have other GPTs where you could put in all of your information, like how you analyze a deal, everything, and record for 3 hours straight. 5 hours, however
Just
much
upload
it is.
all of your videos,
upload
by
everything,
the way.
and then ChatGPT can make a BI, and people can ask it questions, and it's like you're getting an answer from Ben.
We use AI a lot, especially with my son now when it comes to contracts and leases and things like that. It's actually killing the lawyers right now.
Really?
It's cutting down the lawyers' hours and their bills.
What about for evaluating cash flow? It's like, what's a good price to pay for this? Is it accurate in comping?
I don't know. When it comes to cash and money, I don't trust anybody but my own self and a calculator and a pen. I'll sit there, old school, and I'll write down how much money is this place going to bring in a month, realistically. What are my costs going to be? Okay? I'm going to tell you, you can do all the underwriting in the world, and I'm always right. And my son just doesn't, he likes to do put in the numbers and do all the calculations and spreadsheets and all the stuff. And it's great. He gets it to the penny almost. Me, the no-fail, sure way of being safe. If you're dealing with 100-plus unit buildings, okay, this really doesn't work as well. It's too safe for less than 100 units because less than 100 units typically don't have the same expenses. Okay, but for 100-plus units, it's real simple. You figure out what your gross rents are. Let's say the place is making you $1 million a year gross rents, right? Okay, that's reasonable. $1 million a year. You cut it in half. Half your money is going to all your expenses, include your property taxes and insurance. Half the money is gone to operate. That's the way it typically works. Then you have to calculate your debt. So you got $1 million coming in, $500,000 to run the place. Then you got to figure out how much debt you're taking on and what the interest payment's going to be to come off that $500,000. Then that's going to be your return. It's always going to be so close, it's going to blow you away.
They say for single-family homes, it's usually about 15%.
15 is a lot. Yeah, single-family homes, smaller buildings, it don't work. You have less expenses. You don't use the 50% rule.
Is that what
you only use the 50% rule? Because now,
I don't know what
you got to understand, the 50% rule works for 100-plus units because you have managers, you have maintenance, you got a payroll, you got grounds, you got all these expenses that you won't have with a single-family house. Single-family house is really nothing. You collect the rent, and if something fixes, you send somebody over to unstop a toilet. Typically, you can make the tenant take care of their own grounds if it's a single-family house. You don't pay no utilities. It's all on the tenant. There are no expenses, but single-family houses don't cash flow. They're the worst investment you can ever buy for cash flow. You flip single-family houses. You buy them, you fix them. You flip them. Don't ever buy a house for cash flow. It's stupid. It makes no sense. I've never seen it make sense. And then some people end up with a ton of them. Now you sit with all these single-family homes. You're not going to be able to package them together and sell them. Very rare. Okay? Very, very rare. You have to sell them individually. And they're not going to cash flow, especially if you got debt on them. And if they don't have debt on them, you're going to get a return.
Now, a lot of people say in terms of single family that we are in a housing crisis, but there does seem to be a lot of inventory right now on the market for single family
inventory
homes.
Because nobody's buying houses right now. Why? Because it doesn't fit their budget at 6.5% interest rate for the house they want. They got to pay 6.5% interest rate. They got to pay principal. They got to pay insurance. They got to pay taxes. Now is the time to rent.
So
now is definitely the time to rent.
So what are you telling people when they say, should I buy a house right now?
I mean, if your budget can handle it and your lifestyle requires it, or it's a necessity, and you can handle it, then yeah, you always buy a house if you can afford it because it's a personal thing. It's not really an investment. Houses are not investments. Typically, yeah, you buy a house and you live in it for 5 years. It typically appreciates. You make some money. After 2 years, you don't have to pay no capital gains tax up to $250,000 or $500,000 if you're married. It works. But it's not an investment, really. House is a personal purchase. And never buy them for investment unless you're flipping it. I mean, typically the best, smartest thing to do is you buy a house and you improve it. Because the houses there's a reason why a house is not selling too. Okay, because there's something wrong with that house. Maybe it doesn't have enough bathrooms. Maybe it's too small square footage. You come in and add value to the house. Maybe it needs to be fixed up. Whatever the story is there a solution to the fix? You come up with the solution. Do the numbers make sense based on what you're buying, based on what you're spending and improving, and what the market will pay for it? And you want to be below the market so you know you can sell it quick.
This is the first time, though, that I've ever seen it where people are getting less than the price that they spent fixing it up. Because it seems like the prices right now for materials and labor, people are overspending. So they might put, I've seen $500,000 into a property, but they might only get back $375, $400. So they're taking a lot fixing it up.
Nobody knew that the price of gas was going to go to $5 a gallon. Okay, that affects every aspect of our human life. Everything you need is tied to oil. You know, because the cost of making stuff, the cost of shipping stuff. So now, because the price of that went up, the price of everything goes up. You have to, nobody has a crystal ball.
This is what I thought that would really help the housing market. I wish they do this. Imagine if they said, for people that build a house in the next 10 years, if you build, your profits could be tax-free. Imagine how many people would build a house everywhere they could. It seems like that would completely solve the housing shortage. If they just
about profits for who? Somebody buying them just to sell it?
Yes, a builder adding a new housing unit onto the market. If you're able to add, if you take the risk, the time, the capital.
How's that going to help anybody except make the builders more money?
Because it adds more supply into the market. More supply should lower the prices.
Well, it's not so much. I mean, listen, the cost of building is not cheap. There are so many developments right now. I bet you if we looked at it, you go to Lennar's or you go to all these places, I'm sure they got plenty of developments where they can't sell those houses and they already built them or they had plans to build them. Stop kicking me.
Jack.
You ready to eat something?
I didn't know that was your foot. Yeah.
Ready to have a bite to eat?
Yeah.
All right, let's have a bite to eat.
Right now?
Sure, if you're hungry. Yeah, we could take it.
I mean, we'll eat quick and then we'll knock it out.
All right.
What time you guys got to get out of here? Or
we don't. Today's your day.
I mean,
And really quick, I gotta say, something that Jack and I have been trying to do a lot more lately is just to remove the annoyances that quietly waste time and energy, because those things add up fast. The thing is, we're always on the go, we're always trying to get to the next thing, so having a cleaner setup and a little more control in your day really goes a long way, and that is exactly why we absolutely love MagBack. The MagBack Elite case is so much more than just a case. It has the finger loop for a secure grip, side grips that feel great, a pinky pillow for comfort, and a built-in kickstand when you need it.
That is all built to make everyday use way better. And it also just comes with a screen protector, so that's one less thing that you have to worry about.
Then they also have their MagBack 3-in-1 home multi-charger that keeps everything clean and ready to go. You drop your phone, AirPods, and Apple Watch on it at night, and by morning, everything is charged in one place. What I really like about this is that it's not just like a mess of wires that looks awful. I don't have to try to plug and play and which one does what. It's all in one place, and it looks incredibly clean, and it just makes it easy.
I kid you not, Graham and I are genuinely huge fans of MagBack. I use their wallet, I use their phone case, and also on the side of my Tesla screen, I put my phone up there. It is so helpful. Check it out with this footage. I can guarantee if you're on Apple or Android, they have something for you. So if you want to make your setup cleaner and way more efficient, definitely check them out with the link down below, and don't forget to use our code, which is also down below.